Support for Radio Friends comes from Columbia Healthy Smiles, the dental office of husband and wife team Dr. Batson and Dr. Abe, offering comprehensive and customized care to patients of all ages. Learn more by calling 573-721-9039 or online at www.columbiahealthysmiles.com. Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, November the 11th. JOAN STACK is with us today. And we're very fortunate to have her. She is a walking encyclopedia. That's the way I like to refer to you, Joan.
Well, maybe in terms of artworks and Missouri artworks.
You're a walking encyclopedia from the State Historical Society. I tell you, the one thing about this lady, she'd come in here, I can introduce her, and she'll start talking, and I can just sit here and listen. So what have you got for us today?
Well, today I want to talk about a new exhibition that opened at the end of October, and it is called David Plank, Missouri on the Wing. And David Plank, I've got a artwork by him here that I'm showing you. I know people on the radio can't see it, but this is an image of a common yellow-throat bird, which is a common bird in Missouri. It is a resident during the spring, summer, and early fall months.
Yeah, and you know the bird, I'm looking at that photograph, and if you're listening on the radio, it's a Rose of Sharon of bloom that the bird is on. A green bird with yellow stomach and the black banded across its
yes.
face. It almost looks camouflaged in there.
Well, that's right. I mean, one of the nice things that David Plank does is when he does an image of a bird, he will often show it in its habitat. And the fact that it has, I had the name Rose Mallow Hibiscus, but the common name
is the Rose of Sharon.
Yes.
And actually, I call them Missouri Hibiscus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just made a nickname for them because I have so many of them, and they almost look like the tropical hibiscus.
Yes, and the interesting thing is that these particular plants prefer a wet, marshy type environment, and that's exactly the type of environment or habitat that the common yellowthroat prefers. So by representing that bird with the hibiscus, he suggests the environment. He reminds us of the types of places that you can find this bird, which is often at the edges of ponds. I mean, they're fairly common in this area, but usually closer to the river, closer to ponds and creeks and rivers and the like.
Yeah.
He's fairly well known in Missouri for being the premier specialist in the state in drawing bird and painting birds. And in fact, the interesting thing is he lives down in Salem, Missouri, on the land that he inherited from his parents that they had farmed for years. And he is this old man. He's in his 80s, and yet he's still working. He's still painting birds, and this has been his life's work. He did on this Veterans Day. I should mention that he did serve his country in the military between Korea and Vietnam, and then came back, worked in the printing industry briefly, but then decided to really make his living as an artist, and has been doing this for over 5 decades. So
that is absolutely beautiful. When you look at that of course, we're about 7.5, 8 feet away from each other, and I look at that, and I thought you had brought in a photograph of a painting. It just is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really
the details are stunning.
And the way that he does these details and manages to get them, I brought another artwork in, which is one of his field drawings. Now, the interesting thing about David Plank is he does not work from photographs. He's an old-fashioned guy. He does it the traditional way. But what he does to familiarize himself with the birds and really get to understand them is do a lot of field studies, natural studies, directly from the birds. I'm not sure whether he's outside or inside, but this is are some studies of the common yellowthroat, and you can see that he has to work fast, so sometimes you just get a little outline of the bird.
Right.
And he is basically looking at the way it moves, the different postures that it takes, trying to capture all that, and he has hundreds, maybe thousands of these things. And he donated a number of them along with the paintings. And so in our exhibit, we are showing the process of how he gets to the painting. First, he does these field studies. Then he does a transfer drawing so that he can transfer his composition.
My goodness, I mean, he is in depth with
Yes.
this is not something he's just sitting down there and drawing. He's giving a lot of research.
Yes. And so this is what we really wanted people to understand when they come and see this exhibit, the way in which this man lives and breathes birds and works very hard to come to these beautiful compositions like the one that we just looked at. It takes a long time to get there, and he has to go out and do these field studies, get to know the birds. He's a really interesting guy, and I'm so glad he made this donation just a few years ago of a number of his drawings and paintings, and we finally got a chance to showcase these in this exhibit.
And how many paintings do you have?
Well, we have quite a few paintings in our collection, about 14, I believe, but we're going to do 2 installments of this, and we are going to have 5 paintings on display in the first installment, and then a number of drawings that go with it. So there'll be close to 15, 20 different artworks on display.
And this will be when?
This is on display now, and this will run through the holidays and into the spring, and then we'll open the second installment probably in early April.
So this will, you've got plenty of time to get down there. It'll be there through what, this November, December, January, February, March.
Yeah. Now, of course, we will close down before Christmas and New Year's, just to remind people, but we'll be open the same hours as the university.
Okay. All right. That's fascinating. What else have you got going on right now?
Well, we have, and I think I'm going to talk to you a little more about this next time, we have the Daniel Fitzpatrick World War II cartoons, these massive editorial cartoon drawings on display. We still have, for just a little while longer, I think just the rest of this week, the exhibition on women's suffrage is on display. And, of course, we have the Bingham and the Benton artworks, which are always spectacular to see.
Yeah, okay. The women's suffrage, I think that's a wonderful.
Unfortunately, it's just about to close, but you have until the end of the week.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and that vote came about with just one vote. One vote. Women got the right to vote by one vote. All right, we're out of time for today, but if people want to come down, your hours are?
The art gallery opens at 10, and we're open till 4:30.
Okay. And you're closed on Mondays,
We're
correct?
closed on Mondays and Saturdays now. Those are COVID hours. We hope to bring Saturday back.
Okay. Thank you very much, JOAN STACK. Always a pleasure to have you here. She is. She's a walking encyclopedia. We're out of time for today. Tomorrow, the Ragtag and STEAM Academy. If there's something you'd like to hear or see, let me know. Drop me an email. pepperp@missouri.edu. Be nice to each other when you're going out. Make sure you wear that mask, okay? Cover up.